Fenirob here. Let's talk about my first impressions of Seven Summits after a two-player game. This game is published by Deepwater Games. It is designed by Daryl Andrews and Adrian Adamescu. Basically, the goal of the game is to have the most points once each of the 7 summits has been summited. It's kind of a race game, but also you're trying to collect some cards, fulfill some missions, and you're going to basically be rolling these dice and placing them at the base of their respective mountains, and you're going to be pushing your luck all the way up the mountain. So you can take your time and make use of the symbols that are on the spaces to advance up on these tracks, which will give you bonuses that will help you advance and give you more options in future turns. This is a luck-based game that you're going to have some good things happen and some bad things happen, as to be expected. When you pressure luck, you're going to have these dice to roll. You're usually going to roll just one of them along with your die, so you can keep moving up a mountain. As long as you get this clear path, you're going to be safe and you can keep going. But if you get these hazards, you'll have to move backwards possibly, and certainly your turn will have to end. One of these sides has an avalanche, and that means that you will fall all the way to the bottom of the mountain. And that's obviously the worst result you can get, because it sends you back to the start and puts you behind the 8 ball. So you definitely have a luck factor here, but it's enjoyable. You have some chances to add something to your dice. You have incentives to get equipment and move more slowly, but at the same time, you also get bonuses for being the first one to get to the top of the mountain. Most of them have a difference of 2 between the first and second, but Everest has a difference of 4. And the thing about Everest is you can use any one of these dice. Normally you have to move up the particular mountain by using that die, and then that will be it for that mountain in this round. But Everest lets you use a die of any color and move up it, just like you could any other. The thing is, if you decide to press your luck, you have to use both of these dice and take the worst result. So if you got a clear path and an avalanche, you're going to move all the way back to the bottom. So I like the aspect of there's a race here, but also you kind of don't want to move too fast because there are things to get along the way that can give you bonuses during the game. The art is very nice on the cards. The board, I think, looks great. It plays up to 5 players. I think it would be a bit more chaotic with 5 than it was with 2 because you couldn't really plan ahead. You'd be hoping the die that you want is still available when it's your turn. So you have these mission cards, and at the end of the game, you'll be able to get points possibly for completing these missions. These are kept secret. You start the game with only one of them, but as it goes on and you increase your skills by landing on certain spots, you might end up getting more mission cards. And they're kept secret. So in a larger game with more players, I think you have a chance still of getting what you want and without people being jerks to you. But at the same time, with 5 players, you're only going to get to use one die each round, and it's going to be a problem if the thing you want isn't there. So I can see how it could get frustrating at a higher player count. I will say at a 2-player count, I really enjoyed the back and forth and the fact that you didn't have to keep re-rolling the dice after every turn because you actually got to use 3 each before you re-rolled all the dice. I think this game would be a light game for sure, except for some of the symbology and some of the rules that you have to remember each time you play, like what do you do when you reach the top track of the teamwork, and how many times can you use teamwork in one round? There's a few rules that might seem fiddly, but I think after playing it a couple of times, certainly by the end of my first game, it started to click a little bit more. But I think after playing this just a couple of times, maybe 3 times, you wouldn't even worry about the symbology and you can just focus on playing the game, which really shouldn't take more than 45 minutes, I don't think. Certainly not with less than 4 players. So I think that this is one of those games where if you like the subject matter, which here is climbing mountains, I mean, it's thematic enough. It's not a simulation by any means. But at the same time, it does give you the feel for it with the art. And the art's done by these two people right here. They did a very good job. At the end of the day, I think this is a nice light to medium light game that has a little bit of theme to it. It's not dry by any means, but it's not a simulation. And I think you can get this to the table with people who have some interest in being outdoors or hiking, and also are not true gamers, heavy gamers. I think overall the experience is very pleasant. I'm glad this game exists, and I really can't wait to show it to other people because I think there's going to be plenty of people that like this game. I would certainly recommend it if any of this seems pleasing to you. It's probably more pleasing after even more plays. So I would check it out if you haven't. 7 Summits by Deepwater Games. Thumbs up from fenirob. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more game content.